Psalm 78, Learning from the Past to Live in the Present. He decreed statutes for Jacob and established the law in Israel, which he commanded our ancestors to teach their children, so the next generation would know them, even the children yet to be born, and they in turn would tell their children. Psalm 78, verse 6. Psalm 78, written by Asaph, is both a historical and instructive psalm. It takes us on a journey through God's mighty acts for Israel, highlighting both his blessings and the people's continual rebellion. The central message is clear. We must learn from the past to avoid repeating the same mistakes in the future. 1. The need to teach future generations. In verses 5 and 6, God commands that his law and his wonders be passed down from generation to generation. This teaches us that faith is not meant to be private or individualistic, but should be shared and lived out in community. When we fail to pass down stories of what God has done, we risk raising a generation that does not know him, just as happened in Judges 2:10, where a new generation arose that did not acknowledge the Lord. Application. Are we sharing our faith with those who come after us? Do we tell our children, grandchildren, friends, and community about God's faithfulness in our lives? 2. Human unfaithfulness versus God's faithfulness. The psalm highlights Israel's ingratitude. They witnessed miracles like the parting of the Red Sea and manna in the wilderness, yet they still doubted God, verses 17 to 22. Despite this, the Lord continued to provide, correct, and guide his people with patience and mercy. Application. How often do we doubt God, even after experiencing his goodness? Like Israel, we sometimes allow temporary hardships to make us forget past blessings. We need to cultivate a heart that trusts and rests in the Lord. 3. The importance of obedience and trusting in God. In the final verses, the psalm shows how God chose David to be Israel's shepherd, verses 70 to 72, symbolizing that, despite the people's unfaithfulness, God always raises leaders to bring them back to the right path. This foreshadows Jesus, the Good Shepherd, who leads his people with love and righteousness. Application. Are we allowing Christ to be our shepherd and guide? Or are we following our own ways, like Israel did in the wilderness? Conclusion and prayer. Psalm 78 teaches us to remember God's works, teach future generations, trust in him instead of doubting, and allow Christ to lead us. Prayer. Lord, help me to remember your wonders and trust in you in all circumstances. Give me a teachable heart, one that shares my faith with others and rests in your faithfulness. May I never forget your love and grace. Amen.